The stars glimmered against the black void as the U.S. Defiant cut through space. Captain Olivia Mason sat in her command chair, eyes fixed on the main view screen. This was the farthest any human ship had ventured from Earth. "Captain, I'm picking up unusual signals," said Eric Johnson, pressing his headset closer to his ear. The communications officer's forehead wrinkled with concentration. "They're not matching any known patterns." Olivia leaned forward. "Can you clean it up?" "Working on it, ma'am." The bridge crew waited in silence. The Defiant was Earth's pride, a marvel of technology built for deep space exploration and first contact missions. Its sleek design housed the most advanced engines, weapons, and scientific equipment humans had ever created. "Got it," Eric said finally. "It's coming from the Carillion system. Sounds like, well, it sounds like a war." "Play it," Olivia ordered. The bridge speakers crackled with alien voices speaking over each other. Though the words were unintelligible, the tone was unmistakable. Urgent commands, distress calls, and the distinctive sound of weapons fire. "Natalie, what do we know about this system?" Olivia asked her science officer. Natalie Peterson tapped at her console. "Very little, Captain. Our probes detected signs of advanced civilization, but we've had no direct contact." "Set course for Carillion," Olivia decided. "Yellow alert. Let's find out what's happening." 3 days later, the Defiant entered the Carillion system. The main planet, Vraxia, was a blue-green world with 2 small moons. But the space around it was anything but peaceful. Dozens of ships fired at each other in a chaotic battle. 2 distinct design types, observed Security Chief Alan Rodriguez. "Looks like we've stumbled into a civil war." "Captain, we're being scanned," Natalie reported. Before Olivia could respond, a blast of energy struck the Defiant, making the ship shudder. "Shields holding at 92%, called out Cape Washington from the engineering station. That was just a warning shot." "Hail them," Olivia ordered. "Multiple channels open," Eric confirmed. Olivia stood up. "This is Captain Olivia Mason of the Earth vessel U.S. Defiant. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration. We have no quarrel with you." 2 alien faces appeared on split screens. Both had gray-blue skin with ridged foreheads and large yellow eyes. But their clothing differed dramatically. One wore ornate gold armor, the other simple brown garments. "I am Imperial Commander Zixtar," said the one in gold. "You have entered a restricted war zone. Depart immediately or declare your allegiance to the rightful rulers of Vraxia." "I am Coalition Leader Vexnar," said the other. "Do not believe the Imperial lies. They oppress our people. If you value freedom, stand with us." "We are neutral observers," Olivia replied carefully. "We didn't know about your conflict. We can withdraw." A massive explosion rocked the view screen as a nearby Coalition ship erupted in flames. "Captain, 3 Imperial vessels are moving toward us," warned Paul Garcia from navigation. "They're charging weapons. And 2 Coalition ships are positioning behind us," added Tactical Officer Samantha Hill. "We're being boxed in." "They think we're choosing sides," Olivia realized. "Shields to maximum. Arm phase cannons, but hold fire unless I command." The Imperial ships fired first, their energy beams slamming into the Defiant's shields. "Return fire," Olivia ordered. "Target weapon systems only." The Defiant's advanced targeting system locked onto the lead Imperial ship. The phase cannons fired with pinpoint accuracy, disabling the alien vessel's main weapons without destroying it. Both Vraxian factions paused in shock. "How did they?" Commander Zixtar's voice leaked through an open channel. "Their targeting precision is impossible." Vexinar's voice followed. "Such technology in a ship so small." "All stop," Olivia commanded. "Open channels to both leaders." The Vraxians appeared again on screen, their expressions a mixture of surprise and new respect. "We have no interest in your war," Olivia stated firmly. "But we will defend ourselves if attacked. Now perhaps we can talk like civilized beings." The Vraxian leaders exchanged glances. One human ship had just changed everything. The meeting room aboard the U.S. Defiant was tense. Captain Olivia Mason sat at the head of the table, facing representatives from both Vraxian factions. Imperial Commander Zixtar's gold armor gleamed under the lights, while Coalition leader Vexnar's simple brown clothing seemed to absorb it. "Let me understand this," Olivia said. "Your war is about these quantum crystals." Natalie Peterson placed a small blue crystal on the table. It pulsed with inner light. "Yes," said Zixtar. "They power our civilization. The Imperials control the mining and distribution, as we have for centuries." "You mean you hoard them?" Vexnar cut in. "While outer colonies suffer energy shortages." The two aliens glared at each other. Alan Rodriguez, standing by the door, rested his hand on his weapon. "How long has this civil war been going on?" Olivia asked. 3 of your Earth years," Vexnar replied. "We fight for fair distribution. The Imperials fight to maintain control." Zixtar leaned forward. "The Coalition lacks the expertise to safely handle the crystals. Their misuse could destroy entire planets." Olivia looked at Natalie, who nodded slightly. The science officer had been studying the crystal since they arrived. "Both your factions have asked for our help," Olivia said, "but we will not take sides. Instead, we offer to mediate." After the Vraxians left, the senior crew gathered for a private meeting. "They're both lying," Alan said. "The Imperials about safety concerns, the Coalition about their intentions." "Agreed," Natalie said. "These crystals are incredible. They store massive energy in a stable form. Whoever controls them has enormous power." Kate Washington wiped grease from her hands. She had been working nonstop to repair the battle damage. "Our engines could run for years on just one crystal. No wonder they're fighting over them." "We're not here to take their resources," Olivia reminded everyone. "We're here to stop a war if we can." Eric Johnson looked up from his datapad. "Captain, both sides are broadcasting messages about us. The Defiant is being called the Metal Beast from the stars. Our defense of ourselves is already becoming legend." "Good," Olivia said. "Let's use that. Arrange tours of non-sensitive areas for both delegations. Show them our mess hall, our recreation facilities." "Why?" asked Paul Garcia. "To humanize us," Olivia explained. "Let them see we're not so different from them." The next day, Kate led the Imperial delegation through engineering. She showed them the engine room, carefully avoiding classified systems. The Vraxians were impressed by human technology, but seemed more surprised by how the crew interacted. "Your subordinate questioned your instruction," Zixtar noted after Kate discussed an approach with a junior engineer. "She had a better idea," Kate shrugged. "That's how we improve." Meanwhile, Lisa Bennett showed the Coalition members the medical bay. She treated a Vraxian with a minor injury, earning grateful looks. "You help us without demanding payment?" Vexnar asked, confused. "Of course," Lisa said. "That's what doctors do." That evening, a Coalition ship arrived with wounded. They had been ambushed by Imperial forces despite the ongoing peace talks. Lisa and her team worked through the night saving Vraxian lives. Olivia watched from the doorway as humans cared for aliens they had met just days ago. When a young Vraxian doctor learned a new technique from Lisa and successfully saved a patient, tears of joy flowed from his large yellow eyes. "Captain," Natalie said quietly, joining her, "I've been analyzing the crystal. There's something strange about its energy pattern." "What do you mean?" "It's not just a power source. It's changing, almost like it's alive." Across the room, a wounded Coalition fighter grabbed Lisa's hand. "The humans show more honor than our own kind," he said loud enough for all to hear. "Perhaps they are what the old stories foretold." Olivia raised an eyebrow at Natalie. "Old stories." "I'll research it," Natalie promised. "But Captain, I think we've just become more than mediators. We've become symbols." Eric Johnson sat at his communication station, his eyes narrowed in concentration. For hours, He had been monitoring Vraxian transmissions, learning their patterns and codes. Something didn't feel right about the Imperial messages. "Captain," he called to Olivia. "I'm picking up encrypted Imperial communications. They're using a frequency they didn't disclose to us." Olivia frowned. "Can you decode it?" "Not yet, but I know someone who might." Paul Garcia had a gift for patterns and codes. Before joining the Defiant, he had been one of Earth's top cryptographers. Eric forwarded the transmissions to Paul's station. "Give me an hour," Paul said, fingers already dancing across his keyboard. Meanwhile, Olivia hosted another meeting between the factions. The discussion was heated, with Zixtar presenting evidence of coalition attacks on civilian targets. "These are lies," Vexnar insisted. "The Imperials staged these attacks to turn the population against us." Zixtar slammed his fist on the table. "The humans will see through your deceptions, Rebel." Olivia raised her hand for silence. "We need facts, not accusations." Natalie entered the room and whispered in Olivia's ear. Paul decrypted the transmissions. "You need to see this now." Olivia excused herself and followed Natalie to the bridge where Paul waited with Eric. "The Imperials are planning to sabotage our ship," Paul explained, pointing to the decoded message on his screen. "They're going to plant explosives in our shuttle bay during the tour tomorrow, then blame it on the coalition." Olivia's face hardened. "Are you certain?" "The message mentions specific details about our ship that only someone who's been aboard would know," Eric confirmed. "Get Alan up here," Olivia ordered. Security Chief Alan Rodriguez arrived minutes later. After reviewing the evidence, he suggested a plan. "We let them think their plan is working, but we'll be ready." The next day, Zixtar and 3 Imperial officers arrived for their scheduled tour. Alan assigned extra security officers to follow at a discreet distance. When the Imperial group reached the shuttle bay, one officer lagged behind, quickly placing a small device behind a panel. Alan gave the signal. Human security personnel moved in, weapons drawn. "What is the meaning of this?" Zixtar demanded. Olivia stepped forward from where she had been waiting. "I think you know, Commander." She nodded to Alan, who retrieved the device and showed it to everyone. "A scanning device," Zixtar said dismissively. "For scientific research." "No," Olivia replied coldly. "It's an explosive designed to damage our ship. We intercepted your orders to plant it and blame the coalition." Zixtar's face darkened, the blue-gray skin turning almost purple. "You dare accuse me?" "We came in peace." Eric played the decoded transmission. Zixtar's voice was unmistakable, giving detailed instructions for the sabotage. "Your own words condemn you," Olivia said. In a sudden move, Zixtar grabbed a weapon hidden in his armor and seized the nearest human crew member, a young engineer. "Nobody move," the Imperial commander shouted. "We're leaving, and this human comes with us." The other Imperial officers drew hidden weapons, but they hadn't counted on human reflexes. Alan moved with surprising speed, tackling one officer while Samantha Hill disarmed another with a precise strike. The third Vraxian found himself facing 3 security officers, their weapons aimed at his head. Zixtar stood alone, his hostage struggling in his grip. "You're outmatched, Commander," Olivia said calmly. "Release my crew member." "Your species is primitive," Zixtar snarled. "You can't possibly understand the complexities of our politics." "Maybe not," Olivia agreed, "but we understand betrayal, and we protect our own." The engineer suddenly dropped his weight, throwing Zixtar off balance. Alan seized the moment, firing a stun blast that dropped the Imperial commander to the floor. As human security officers secured the Imperials, Vexnar entered with his coalition delegation. They had watched everything through the ship's monitoring system at Olivia's invitation. "Now you see the Imperial deception firsthand," Vexnar said. "They cannot be trusted." Olivia looked at him steadily. "Perhaps, but I'm beginning to wonder if anyone in this conflict can be." For the first time, Doubt flickered across Vexnar's alien features. The medical bay of the U.S. Defiant was busy. Coalition fighters filled the beds, their blue-gray skin pale from injury and exhaustion. Lissa Bennett moved from patient to patient, her gentle hands treating wounds unlike any she had seen on Earth. Their blood contains trace elements of the quantum crystals, she told Captain Olivia Mason. But there's something else. Look at this scan. The medical display showed a Vraxian body with strange patterns throughout the muscle tissue. Genetic modifications? Olivia asked. Lisa nodded. Advanced ones. All these coalition fighters have them. Vexnar entered the medical bay, his eyes surveying his wounded people. Olivia gestured him aside. Your fighters have been genetically modified, she said directly. Care to explain? Vexnar's large yellow eyes blinked slowly. You weren't supposed to discover that. We have excellent medical technology. After a long pause, Vexnar sighed. The quantum crystal mines are toxic. The Imperials use protective suits and limited exposure times. We don't have that luxury. We modified ourselves to survive the mining conditions. So you can mine the crystals yourselves, Olivia realized. That's why the Imperials are so afraid of you gaining control. Yes, but these modifications come at a cost. Our lifespans are shortened. The next generation may face even worse effects. Lisa joined them. I might be able to help with that. If I can understand the exact nature of the toxicity. An alarm blared throughout the ship. Olivia's communicator activated. Captain, Imperial ships are approaching the Coalition base where we're docked. Samantha Hill reported from the bridge. They're charging weapons. Battle stations, Olivia ordered. Vexnar, evacuate your wounded to the interior of your base. We'll buy you time. The Defiant powered up, its shields glowing as it moved to protect the Coalition base. 5 Imperial warships approached, their weapons already firing. They're targeting the base's power generators, Paul Garcia reported from his station. If those go down, the life support systems for thousands of civilians will fail. Intercept those torpedoes, Olivia commanded. Target their weapon systems only. The Defiant moved with surprising agility for its size. The human ship's point defense systems destroyed incoming torpedoes with precision. Its phase cannons disabled 2 Imperial ships in quick succession. The remaining ships are attempting to flank us, Alan Rodriguez warned from security. They think we can only defend from one direction at a time, Olivia said. Kate, can we extend our shields to cover the generator complex? Chief Engineer Kate Washington's voice came over the comm. Yes, but it will strain our systems. We'd be vulnerable elsewhere. Do it. Samantha, prepare a surprise for anyone who thinks we're exposed. As the shields extended to cover the vital Coalition facilities, 3 Imperial ships moved to attack the Defiant from behind. At Olivia's command, Samantha deployed countermeasures that confused the Imperial targeting systems. The enemy ships fired, but their shots went wide. The battle lasted 20 minutes. When it ended, all 5 Imperial ships were disabled but not destroyed. The Coalition base remained intact. Over 2,000 civilian lives had been saved. Later, as Coalition engineers helped repair the Defiant's minor damage, Vexnar approached Olivia on the bridge. You could have destroyed those ships, he said. Why didn't you? We don't believe in unnecessary killing, Olivia replied. Those ships had crews, people with families. Vexnar struggled to understand. In our culture, mercy to enemies is seen as weakness. In ours, it's seen as strength, Olivia countered. It takes more courage to spare an enemy than to kill one. Word of the Defiant's actions spread quickly through the Coalition territories. Stories grew with each telling. How one human ship had faced 5 Imperial warships, how they had protected civilians rather than seeking glory in combat, how they treated enemies with respect rather than hatred. In her private quarters, Olivia reviewed the day's events with Natalie. The Coalition fighters are calling you the Merciful One, Natalie reported. It's becoming a title of honor. They've never seen warfare conducted this way. We didn't come here to change their culture, Olivia said. No, Natalie agreed. But I think we might be doing it anyway. Lieutenant Frank Miller studied the holographic map of the Imperial Communications Hub. The structure was heavily guarded with energy barriers and armed soldiers at every entrance. It seemed impossible to infiltrate. We need that hub, Olivia explained to her senior officers. It controls all Imperial fleet movements. If we can access it, we could prevent the next major attack. A direct assault would fail, Alan said, shaking his head. They outnumber us 50-1. Frank tapped the hologram, zooming in on a small maintenance tunnel. What about this? It's too small for adult Vraxians, but not too small for humans, Olivia realized. How did you spot that? Frank smiled. I asked myself where I would hide if I was small and afraid. Vraxians are all about strength and power. They wouldn't think like that. This was the human advantage. While the Vraxians followed strict military protocols and predictable strategies, humans thought differently. They found unusual solutions, saw patterns others missed, and adapted quickly to new situations. That night, Frank led a team of 4 through the narrow maintenance tunnel. They crawled through darkness for nearly an hour, using small breather masks to filter the alien atmosphere. When they reached the hub's central chamber, they faced another challenge. The control systems were designed for Vraxian physiology. Now what? Whispered a team member. Frank studied the alien controls. Look for patterns, not labels, he instructed. They observed Vraxian technicians, noting which controls were used most frequently. Instead of trying to understand the entire system, they focused on the specific communications array that controlled fleet movements. When the main technicians left for a shift change, Frank's team moved quickly. They didn't try to operate the controls correctly. They deliberately created a cascade of minor errors that would force the system to reset. During the automatic reboot, they inserted a human device that would transmit all communications to the Defiant. No alarms sounded. No guards rushed in. The Vraxians never imagined someone would deliberately cause errors rather than trying to use the system properly. Back on the Defiant, Samantha Hill was developing her own strategy. She had noticed that Vraxian battle formations followed strict geometric patterns, never deviating even when the situation changed. It's like they're following a rulebook that can't be changed, she explained to Olivia. If we can predict their patterns, we can be 3 steps ahead. Samantha programmed the Defiant's defensive systems to recognize these patterns and automatically counter them. When Imperial ships attacked a coalition mining colony the next day, the Defiant was waiting. The Imperial commander followed standard Vraxian doctrine, splitting his forces into 3 equal groups. Samantha had predicted this exactly. The Defiant maneuvered between the groups, firing precisely where the Imperial ships would be, not where they were. 5 ships were disabled before they realized what was happening. Impossible. The Imperial commander shouted over an open channel. How did they know our formation sequence? The remaining Imperial ships tried to regroup, but each time they shifted positions, the Defiant was already countering their next move. It was like playing chess against someone who knew all your strategies in advance. Word spread quickly among the Vraxians. Stories about the humans grew more fantastic with each telling. Some said humans could read minds. Others believed they could see the future. The truth, that humans simply thought differently, was harder for the structured Vraxian mind to accept. In her quarters that evening, Olivia received reports from across the system. Imperial desertion rates were rising. Coalition recruitment had doubled. Both sides were starting to fear the small human ship that seemed to outthink them at every turn. We're becoming larger than life to them, Natalie observed. Good, Olivia replied. Fear might make them hesitate. Hesitation might lead to talking instead of fighting. And if they don't talk? Eric asked. Olivia looked at the star map showing Vraxian territories. Then we keep showing them there's a better way, one battle at a time. Little did Olivia know that far away in the outer colonies, another group of Vraxians was watching with great interest. A group that had stayed hidden for generations, waiting for exactly this moment. The message arrived unexpectedly on a frequency neither Imperial nor Coalition forces used. It was directed specifically to Captain Olivia Mason of the U.S. Defiant. "We are the Harmony Collective," the message stated. "We wish to meet the humans who fight without hatred. Come to the coordinates alone." Olivia studied the star chart. The coordinates pointed to an asteroid field in the outer reaches of the Carillion system, far from the main conflict zones. "It could be a trap," Alan warned. "Both factions know we can defend ourselves," Olivia replied. "Besides, this doesn't feel like either group's style." The Defiant navigated carefully through the asteroid field. Sensors detected no weapons, no ships lying in ambush. What they found instead was a hidden wonder. Asteroids hollowed out and connected by transparent tubes, forming a small but thriving colony. A single Vraxian ship approached, smaller than any they had seen before. It made no aggressive moves, simply guiding the Defiant to a docking port. The Vraxian who greeted them was older than any they had met, his skin a deeper blue with fine wrinkles around his yellow eyes. He wore simple white robes with no military insignia. "I am Elder Kravos of the Harmony Collective," he said with a bow. "We have watched you with great interest, Captain Mason." Kravos led Olivia, Natalie, and Kate through the asteroid colony. Everywhere they looked, Vraxians were using quantum crystals in ways they hadn't seen before. The crystals powered lights, heated homes, and even seemed to purify water. "You've been here all along?" Olivia asked, while the others fight over the crystals. "For 3 generations," Kravos confirmed. "We left when the Imperial greed began. We took just enough crystals to sustain ourselves and developed methods to use them efficiently." In a large chamber at the center of the colony, Kravos showed them ancient Vraxian writings carved into stone. "Our oldest prophecies speak of star travelers who would come during our darkest time," he explained. "They would not seek to conquer but to heal. They would show mercy to enemies and strength through wisdom." Natalie examined the carvings, her scientific mind skeptical but curious. "This could describe many different scenarios." "Perhaps," Kravos agreed, "but none have fit so perfectly as your arrival." The Elder led them to a laboratory where Harmony scientists worked with quantum crystals. They had developed a method to grow new crystals from existing ones, eliminating the need for toxic mining. "This could end the resource scarcity that started the war," Kate said excitedly. "We believe so," Kravos replied. "But the Imperials would never accept knowledge from us. They see us as traitors. The Coalition distrusts anyone who hasn't suffered as they have. But they might listen to us," Olivia realized. Before they could discuss further, an alarm sounded throughout the asteroid colony. A Harmony technician rushed in. Imperial ships approaching. A full battle fleet. Outside, through the transparent tubes connecting the asteroids, they could see dozens of Imperial warships moving into position. "They must have followed us," Natalie said. "No," Kravos replied grimly. "We have a traitor among us, someone who fears change." Olivia's communicator beeped. It was Eric from the Defiant. "Captain, we're being hailed by Imperial Commander Zixtar. He's demanding the surrender of the Harmony Collective. He's calling them crystal thieves and heretics." "Get back to the ship," Olivia ordered Natalie and Kate. "Elder Kravos, evacuate your people to the inner asteroids." "What will you do?" Kravos asked. Olivia looked at the approaching fleet. The Defiant was just one ship against many. "What we've been doing since we arrived. Standing up for what's right." The Defiant moved to intercept the Imperial fleet. Olivia knew they were outnumbered, but she also knew something the Imperials didn't. Humans fight hardest when protecting others. "All hands to battle stations," she ordered calmly. "Let's show them what one human ship can do." As the Defiant faced the Imperial fleet, stories of the confrontation were already spreading through Vraxian communication channels. Across the system, Vraxians of all factions paused to watch what would happen next. The battle that followed would be remembered in Vraxian history for generations. The Imperial fleet surrounded the Defiant weapons charge, expecting quick victory. They didn't understand what they were facing. "Target their lead ship's weapons only," Olivia ordered. "Sam, execute pattern Delta." The Defiant moved in ways the Imperial ships couldn't predict. It darted between larger vessels, using their bulk as shields against other attackers. Its precise weapons fire disabled rather than destroyed. The human ships seemed to be everywhere at once. "How are they doing this?" an Imperial officer demanded over an open channel. "Their ship is reacting faster than our targeting systems." The answer was simple. While Vraxian ships relied on automated targeting guided by fixed programming, the Defiant used human operators who could make instant judgments and adapt to changing situations. As the battle raged, Natalie and Kate worked with Harmony scientists to broadcast evidence of both the Imperial deception and the Coalition's genetic modifications to all Vraxian colonies. Eric used his communications expertise to bypass Imperial blockers, ensuring everyone in the system could see the truth. "People of Vraxia," Olivia's message began, playing on screens across the system. "I am Captain Olivia Mason of Earth. We came in peace but found you at war with yourselves. Both your leaders have lied to you." The broadcast showed Imperial plans to hoard crystals and Coalition plans to seize them by force. Then it revealed the Harmony Collective's method of growing new crystals without toxic mining. "There is enough for all if you work together," Olivia continued. "War benefits only those who profit from it." Back in the battle, the Defiant had disabled 12 Imperial ships without destroying any. The remaining ships began to hesitate, their formations breaking down as commanders argued over how to fight this unpredictable enemy. Seeing the Imperial forces falter, Olivia made her boldest move. She ordered the Defiant to power down weapons and open a direct channel to all Imperial commanders. "This is Captain Mason. You've seen what one human ship can do. I now offer you a choice. Continue this pointless battle, or join us in peace talks. Earth has no interest in your resources or territory. We simply wish to help end this conflict." For a long moment, there was silence. Then one Imperial ship powered down its weapons. Then another, and another. "This is Captain Renvor of the Imperial vessel Steadfast," came a message. "My crew refuses to fire on the humans. Their honor has moved us." More Imperial captains followed, their ships going dark as weapon systems powered down. Only Commander Zixtar's flagship continued to attack. "Traitors," Zixtar screamed over the channel. "The Empire will execute you all." His threat backfired. 3 of his own officers seized control of his bridge. The last weapons went silent. "This is First Officer Tralven of the Imperial flagship," a new voice announced. "Commander Zixtar is relieved of duty. We request to join the peace talks." As news spread, Coalition forces arrived, expecting to find a battle. Instead, they witnessed Imperial ships moving peacefully alongside the human vessel. Vexnar's own flagship approached cautiously. "What trickery is this?" Vexnar demanded. "No trick," Olivia replied. "Just the beginning of peace." That evening, as Vraxian ships from all factions gathered around the Harmony Collective's asteroids, Olivia met with her senior staff. "We've created quite a situation," Alan noted. "They're all looking to us now." "Not just to us," Olivia corrected him. "To what we represent. A different way of thinking. A path beyond endless war." Natalie handed Olivia a data pad showing messages from across the Vraxian system. Ordinary citizens were calling for their leaders to join the talks. Workers were refusing to produce weapons. Military units were standing down. "It's spreading faster than we expected," Natalie said. "They're tired of fighting." Olivia looked out at the assembled Vraxian ships, Imperial, Coalition, and Harmony, all in the same space without firing on each other for the first time in years. "Tomorrow, we bring all their leaders together," she said, "and we show them our final card." "Final card?" Frank asked. Olivia smiled. "The truth about why we're here." The conference room of the U.S. Defiant had never been so crowded. Representatives from all Vraxian factions sat around the large table. Imperial officers in their gold armor sat stiffly across from coalition leaders in their simple brown clothing. Members of the Harmony Collective in white robes filled the spaces between. Smaller groups from various colonies stood along the walls. All eyes were on Captain Olivia Mason. 3 years ago, your people began killing each other over these, Olivia said, placing a quantum crystal on the table. Today that ends. Former Imperial Commander Zixtar, now under guard, sneered. You humans think you understand our conflict after a few days. We understand enough, Olivia replied calmly. The Imperials hoarded resources. The Coalition fought for access. Both sides lied to their people. And the Harmony Collective found a better way but stayed hidden out of fear. Vexinar leaned forward. So what happens now? Does Earth claim our crystals as spoils of war? Do you decide who rules Vraxia? This was the moment Olivia had been waiting for. She looked at each face in the room before speaking. Earth wants nothing from you. Not your crystals, not your planets, not your allegiance. We came to explore and make peaceful contact with new civilizations. That's all. Confused murmurs filled the room. The concept seemed impossible to the Vraxians. You had the power to defeat us, said Trelven, the Imperial officer who had overthrown Zixtar. Why not use it? Because that's not who we are, Olivia explained. Humans learned long ago that conquest brings only temporary power. True strength comes from cooperation. Kate stepped forward with Harmony scientists, displaying their crystal-growing technology. This method can provide enough energy for all Vraxians, she said. No more toxic mining, no more shortages. Next, Lisa presented her medical findings. I've developed a treatment for those affected by crystal toxicity, she announced, and for the genetic modifications in Coalition members. One by one, the human crew showed what they had learned and created during their brief time with the Vraxians. Each presentation demonstrated not just human ingenuity but human values. Cooperation over competition, healing over hurting, sharing over hoarding. Elder Kravos rose slowly to his feet. The prophecies spoke true, he said, his voice carrying despite its softness. The Star Travelers came not to rule us, but to remind us who we once were. A young Imperial officer stood up. My family has lost 3 generations to this war. I will not lose a 4th. He removed his insignia and placed it on the table. I surrender my rank and pledge to work for peace. A coalition fighter followed suit, placing her weapon beside the insignia. I surrender my hatred. It has served no one. One by one, Vraxians from all factions stood and surrendered something. A weapon, a title, a grudge. The movement spread beyond the conference room. Throughout the ship, Vraxians watching on monitors joined in. Across the system, the gesture rippled through ships and colonies as the peace talks were broadcast. By sunset, what had begun as a formal negotiation had transformed into the largest surrender in Vraxian history, not to the humans, but to the idea of peace. Later that night, Olivia stood alone on the observation deck, watching Vraxian ships moving freely between factions, carrying supplies and people instead of weapons. Natalie joined her, datapad in hand. Reports from all colonies confirm it. The fighting has stopped completely. They're calling it the Great Surrender. Will it last? Olivia wondered. They'd formed a unity council with representatives from all groups, Natalie said. The first motion they passed was to invite Earth to send teachers, not soldiers. Olivia smiled. One ship against an entire war. Who would have thought? It wasn't just the ship, Natalie reminded her. It was what we represent. A different way. As the Defiant prepared to return to Earth with news of their extraordinary first contact, the crew knew they had witnessed something rare and precious. A war ended not through destruction, but through understanding. One human ship had indeed turned an alien civil war into a mass surrender, not through force of arms, but through force of example.